my God.
Oh, Bayavu was taken to court and sentenced to death a few years later.
Bhavani, guys. This is Beni.
And this is Dhru. And today we are going to review the trailer of a Nigerian movie called Ayinla. This is a 2021 movie and it stars Lateef Adedimeji, Bimbo Ademoye, Omowura Dada Laoye. It also has Kunle Afolayan as a character in it, who is an awesome director. And this was released in 2021. It's directed by Tunde Kelani. It says Ayinla is a film that tells the story of a Nigerian musician, Ayinla Omowura, who used Apala music to address issues of the contemporary society, commending and criticizing various governmental and individual acts.
Ooh, okay.
Very, very cool.
Mo gbọ́ pé òun plan láti gbé Ayinla Omowura lọ sí London for a musical tour.
Ṣebí wọ́n ní kò sáyé Apala ní London.
Àwa máa gbé Apala wọ London.
London.
And this is going to be Ayinla's debut.
Discover his essence.
Alhaji Ayinla Omowura.
The roots that bore him.
Èmi ò kì í ṣe ìyàwó yín.
Ìyàwó mi rẹ̀ tẹ́lẹ̀ ọmọ àbúrò ìyá mi gangan báyìí.
Mo rí bẹ́ẹ̀ ṣe wo ọmọ yẹn lọ.
A jẹ́ pé torí ìwà ìdí náà ló ṣe fẹ́ di sóyòyò tó ń bóra.
His music. His craft.
Lọ forúkọ mi sí London tí ẹ lọ yẹn.
Má bàbá travel.
Ẹgbẹ́ ti pín.
Nìkan bá ti bẹ̀rẹ̀ eré bì, wọ́n kó tọ́ọ̀gì lọ. Nítorí bá ti bẹ̀rẹ̀ eré bì, wọ́n kó tọ́ọ̀gì lọ.
Mo rò pé nǹkan kan ṣe é. Ẹ̀yin ni wàá gbà ní iṣẹ́ kí
New York bá wa rọ́ọ̀lù mi, ṣé kí n máa wòran ni?
What did we do to him?
Àyìnlá nìkan ló lè ṣe.
We are in business.
I mean, before we begin, what I felt was this Apala music, if it is something that criticizes society or government actions and all, then it is something like what we in India have like Nukkad Natak. Are you aware? Nukkad Natak is like translates to street dramas. These are short skits that are performed on the street by numerous performers, and there is a kind of a rhythmic speaking or chanting to it, where they're doing the same thing. They're criticizing something in the society, like for example, physical abuse or domestic violence. So it's a kind of a poetic way in which they put this out across. They speak it very loudly and they wear the same kind of clothes and they go chanting about it. So one person speaks, the others go around in circles around that person and they keep on repeating what is spoken. So it's a nice way of attracting the audience on streets. I mean, these days it's not easy to do it on the street. You need permission and all. But generally in towns and all, it was done like this, that people who want to voice some social injustice and something that are social evils, that was portrayed in this manner. So I feel that Apala music is something relevant to that. Also, what I find is that it seems that this person is being launched by his agent to go to London, and I believe he might be a small town boy. And if a person like that gets a chance to go to London, then everybody is like, okay, I want to be involved with this person. You know, he's going to become a celebrity, or he's already a celebrity if he's supposed to go to London, right? In his town he is. So everybody wants to get affiliated with him, associated with him. And it seems that some girl comes along and she's like, oh, I'm not your wife. And he's like, oh, you are my wife, right? And then she says that, ask them to take me to London with you. And he says, she's going to London. And that guy says, no, our company is complete. You know, we're not taking anyone else. So the only reason probably she, let us say, hooked up with him was to be able to get to London, right? And he seems to be a naive sort of person who's, a proper musician, a person who loves his art and his craft. But then it seems everybody wants to, bits and pieces of him because he's going to become famous, and so it leads to a lot of chaos and riots and God knows what.
For someone who comes from a village, who is just an innocent person, he probably doesn't even understand if someone's trying to take advantage of him. Because, you know, your general assumption, even when you're growing up as kids, is like, people are as good as I am. I would not do something bad, then people also will be like that. But that's not the reality. It's like the Santa Claus syndrome. It's like kind of shattered for you, that you kind of become cynical for a while. So it's very interesting what his journey might have been. It's intriguing to know if his music did do well in London or not. I do know there's a good Nigerian population in London, but is it enough to be a successful, viable thing for him to do? Now, I don't know if all the problems they showed in the tribe are about him being taken advantage of, or was the tribe supporting him and trying to look after him. There are definitely amazing artists who have come out of Africa, and unfortunately they haven't gotten as big of an exposure. And the fact that back in that time someone was thinking about going to London, 1980s, maybe that was a very good cultural time. I don't know how difficult it was back then, but definitely the world wasn't as connected as it is now. So that was a much bigger leap at that time, especially coming from a small tribe. So, and to, you know, have that vision to bring your songs out to a different continent altogether was very cool in my eyes. His birth name was Vaidi Ayinla Yusuf Gbogbolowo. I'm sorry if there are certain things that are silent, but like you guys can tell me. But he was born in 1933 in Itoko, Abeokuta. He died in a bar. It says Omowura was killed in a ballroom brawl on May 6, 1980, aged 47. He died from a cerebral hemorrhage after being struck on his head with a beer mug by Baye Wu, his manager at the time.
Oh my God.
Oh, Baye Wu was taken to court and sentenced to death a few years later. On the day he died, EMI Records recorded at least 50,000 copies sale on each of his albums. What a terrible, brutal death. My gosh.
Oh God.
This intrigues me more to understand why his manager did it. If anybody even knows why he did it. If that's common knowledge why he did it, then obviously the movie would show that. But in the case of, for example, in India, there was the Talwar family. It's such a mystery. Even right now, many people believe parents did it. Many people believe somebody else did it. But Talwar movie was an interpretation of the movie maker of what actually happened, because no one actually knows what happened. And I feel like if there is no common knowledge of why his manager killed him, then the movie will take an interpretation. And it would be interesting to know what their interpretation is and what they believe and why they actually believe it, you know?
Right.
It actually reminds me of that Latina artist, Selena. Very gorgeous. That was Jennifer Lopez's breakout movie role, in which she played Selena. She died in her early 20s. She was murdered by her manager too, where she just went to talk to her manager, and the manager just shot her and killed her.
You know, I feel that when it comes to a relationship between a manager and the artist, I think it is as close as family, you know, because the manager is the one who leads you through to your stardom. But then once you become a star, you want to become your own person. You want to become independent. You do not want to be a puppet any longer. At the end of the day, your freedom and your independence is what you yearn for the most, right? And you start feeling, okay, I can make decisions for myself. Maybe I can do it better. And the manager is like, what do you know? I'm the star maker. You need to follow my advice, right? And sometimes these kind of ego clashes lead to problems like these.
Or the manager could be stealing money, and you find out. And that's what happened with Selena. To be an artist and have a manager, that's an intense relationship, because there's so much emotions involved too.
And when huge money comes into the equation, evidently it's a dangerous situation anyways. I'm looking forward to watching this movie.
Yes.
I'd like to know about this guy.
And especially Kunle Afolayan is playing a character, which is so cool. I think he's an awesome director. So that will be interesting to see how he does in acting as well. All right, guys. So if you liked our video, please subscribe to our channel and hit that bell icon so that you're notified every time we upload a new video. Also like our video if you actually liked it, share it with friends, spread the word, and until next time, Adabo.
Adabu.